again, this is where Fishing Creek comes into the Susquehanna. We're going to just release right in here, gently release. It's really important that the fish are not shocked in any way. Just realize we just took them out of that tank that they've been in since they were, some of you might have been around when we called them kitten fish and they were only about this big.
Oh.
Okay, that was back in September or October when we got them. Now they're like this big, all right? We found out, like I said this morning, that they actually have barbs on their fins as a protection. Channel catfish are interesting in that that's what we're releasing today.
You just found that out? Ouch. No.
Yeah, they're ouchy when you get my finger's not too bad now. But channel catfish are interesting in that some people literally call them swimming tongues. And you might be like, why is that? Does anybody know where channel catfish live when they live in the water? What part of the water? Luca.
They in lakes, rivers, any kind of body of water that catfish live in, they usually stay at the bottom.
They stay at the bottom, right? And is it like dark, murky water?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, okay? Has anyone fished for catfish?
We have, but we didn't catch any. Sadly.
You have. What time of day did you fish for catfish?
Day.
Daytime?
Around morning.
Morning? So I have a friend that runs an outfitter, and she actually takes people out to fish for catfish at night. Because catfish feed at night. They're most active at night. So let's think about that. Their eyes are small. They don't really see a whole lot, okay? They live in murky water, which means they don't really need to see a whole lot. And what did I tell you? They're swimming tongues. So how do they sense their environment?
They have whiskers like cats, so they actually have the whiskers facing the bottom.
Yep.
And any kind of insect or parasite that they can eat, they will feel it through their whiskers. Like
You're right. So they have whiskers, and they have other whiskers. They have actually 4 whiskers, and they can feel that, and they can taste it, and they can taste through their skin and their body. So they don't need to see things really well, okay? They can actually use other senses to find things to eat. So she goes out at night, and just to tell you, I think the biggest catfish caught was like 60 pounds.
Wow.
She brings in catfish that are like this big and this big around. And catfish, they grow a certain length and then they get fatter. They don't keep getting longer. They grow, stop, and get wider, okay?
Chunky.
So these guys right now are pretty skinny little guys. You'll notice the bigger ones are larger, okay? So they're a little bit cooler and around. They have spots on them right now, but when you eventually would see them full grown, they're just kind of gray, murky looking fish, okay?
to blend in with their environment.
They blend in with their environment called, what is it when something blends in with its environment? Camouflage, you got it, okay? They are omnivores. What's an omnivore?
Something that eats grass.
Are we omnivores? Unless we're vegetarian or vegan, right? So we eat meat, we eat plants, we eat shellfish and crustaceans. They eat insects, okay? So they eat everything, whatever comes along their way, all right?
That helicopter is low.
That is all I know about catfish. Is there anyone else that wants to share anything interesting about a catfish before we do this? Luca.
They actually spend their whole entire life at the bottom of the water, walking around, and sometimes
Walking around?
they actually sleep at the bottom.
They sleep at the bottom too. Yeah, but they do feed at the bottom too. Okay? All right. Mr. Steven said we try to keep it around 7. By the way, your body pH is around 7. That's neutral. The reason that's important is temperature is important, but pH is important too. So I kind of like you to think about pH as like oxygen for you. If I took you and I put you in a really hot place and we put you at a really high elevation, what happens when you get to a higher elevation? More or less oxygen? Less oxygen. Put you at a really higher elevation, heated you up something terrible. Do you think you're going to feel good?
No, I'm going to pass out.
No, I actually had that happen last year. I was at about 8,000 feet riding a horse for 4 hours in the sun, and I felt pretty sick by the time I got off
Where
that
were
horse,
you?
Okay, so there's the dunes. in Colorado.
Oh, cool.
So, so any event, pH is like oxygen to the fish. pH is, remember, their skin is what they're feeling everything with, okay? So they're in that water. We want to make sure that anything touching their body feels good and is at the right level. If it's too low, they can feel bad, and if it's too high. Now, Stephen and I were here last week, and what are we looking? Oh, you're in the water.
So right now, this one's going to start out higher because as we were talking about that murkiness, this meter will start out high reading all that. It takes a little bit of time to get down. So we're looking at 7.4 right now, and it's going to take, I'm going to give it a little bit more time because this is the first time it's being used this morning. Got to give it a little bit of morning wake-up time. But the tank test yesterday was about 7.17, which is where we keep it. So generally going to be okay whenever we put them in here. And it's nice because this is new water coming in. It's more refreshing. It's not stuff that's been in the lake. Fishing Creek's a little bit cleaner than, like, say, your Paxton. If you guys ever been by the farm show, like the farm show complex, which you guys
With the school
kids, I imagine you have. There's a creek that runs behind it known as Paxton. That one's there's a lot of sediment, so there's it's very stinky, a lot of anaerobic digestion going on. A lot of the stuff we have happening in our drum filters, happening real time, right behind the farm show. So yeah.
And Stephen just was hired full time, so everybody can give him a round of
Woo!
applause.
Thank you.
Jazz hands, jazz hands.
So Stephen knows a lot about fish, more than I know. And so he's going to talk to you a little bit about the importance of making sure we don't shock the fish, okay? Because we brought them from this really nice environment, and now we're throwing them out where there's all kinds of stuff that they've never experienced before.
I think they're going to a very lovely
I
environment.
think they're going to love it. So Stephen, do you want to do your talk?
Yeah.
About acclimation?
Yes. So, as Ms. Crystal was just saying, we don't want to take the fish from a really nicer environment where they get a clean tank, they have water constantly refreshing, and just throw them in here. Can anyone think of a couple different things that would be different possibly in the lab versus in this water?
This water has dirt in it.
This water has dirt in it. There's a lot more crap in it.
Pollution.
Pollution.
It's also more murky.
More murky, which goes with that. So water quality is going to be a big thing. So this meter here, I'm also...
Compared to the lab, is going to be way more predators. I don't think there's any predators in the lab.
No predators, yeah, exactly. So there's no predators in the lab. So when these guys come out here, thankfully we do have like moving water for them to swim against to kind of like get those muscles to swim. So they won't be completely shot, but they'll also have a lot more food for them to come out here and eat. They'll nip at like the bugs and whatnot, other fish. But the big thing is, especially in the lab, is we have controlled temperature in there. So we need to make sure we're not going from either super warm or super cold water and out into vice versa out here. Now, thankfully, we're back in the shaded area. It's earlier in the morning, so today's a little bit cooler. It's gonna, and I'll check it with my handy dandy pH and EC meter. So stuff like that is definitely important to make sure when you put the fish in, they're comfortable, they're not stressed out, because once they get stressed out, it becomes a lot harder for them to eat, a lot harder for them to function and move out. So as we're doing this, you'll see I'll be taking buckets of water. We'll be emptying some water out of there and taking some water from here and putting it up there. Typically, acclimation of fish takes about 30 minutes because you don't want to rush it, you don't want to shock them, so we want to take our time, generally adding more to the water, checking out some. Catfish, thankfully, are very hardy, a lot hardier than, say, trout. Trout, like, live up in the streams. They need a lot more, like, you should be really exact. These guys have a little bit more play. We don't necessarily need to be, like, very precise.
So not as fragile.
Yes, not as fragile. I like that. Not as fragile as trout. So I'm going to throw our meters in. They're going to sit for a little bit to just get the water, because the water quality here is a lot different. As you said, a lot murkier, a lot more crap in the water, and our meters will, depending on, so this one is a field meter. This one can handle that stuff that's in there. The stuff we use in the lab, like if you guys have been in there, like the Hawk meter or anything like that, the API test kits, those would be a little bit harder to use because the stuff in the water will affect how the test is.
Okay. So this is bougier.
A little bougie, yes, exactly. This is a bougier way. Thankfully, the CCA was able to let us get this.
They have the finances for that.
Yeah.
They'll have plenty to eat because I see a lot of water bugs back there.
Oh yeah, these guys are they're not gonna know what to do because they're so used to being in their little thing. They're gonna sit there. When we released the one trout, she kind of just sat there like, oh, there's room, and then she took off after finding out. So this area, thankfully, is a little shallower. The water yesterday we came and checked it out. It looked like a lake. It was very fast. So
Oh, wow.
that's another thing. We want to release them over here because if the water's moving too fast, they may not be able to keep up with it right away. You want them to kind of get used to that water flow. So this is honestly a perfect place because this feeds right out from this creek, Fishing Creek, into the Susquehanna. So yeah.
I like
Any
it.
questions?
Probably not.
Probably not. Because what do trout need?
They need cleaner water and colder temperatures.
Cleaner water and colder temperatures. And what do you get at colder temperatures in water? Do you
Higher
know?
oxygen.
High oxygen levels. Okay. If we were to measure the oxygen levels in here, they wouldn't be that great. They would be pretty low. But catfish don't care.
But they're down at the bottom.
They're down at the bottom. If we wanted to release, where did you release the trout last year?
We go up to Clark's Creek, right up
Up the
the
road
two
here.
exits up
Oh.
after Fishing Creek, right off of Halifax.
'Cause-
They-
yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I said they actually have a stocking program up there, and they have a children's only section
Oh,
for
cool.
fishing, which is really nice because it's handicap accessible. You can actually go see them because they grow out fish. It's really cool because all they really do is they have a stream right here. They divert the stream to come through and around, and they use that divert it to grow the trout and whatnot.
So is that considered a fish hatchery then?
Hatchery,
Yeah.
yes. Nursery hatchery.
Okay.
And they, I believe, do just trout up there.
Okay.
68 is a little
60,
cooler.
A little cooler, yeah.
A little cooler.
It was a little cooler yesterday. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, that wind was cooling everything down.
So general guidance from the Fish Commission, and by the way, this is part of what they asked us to do, to make sure we're doing things appropriately. General guidance is it should be within 10 degrees temperature, which is a pretty wide range. Obviously, we're within that. And the other guidance, I believe, is within 1 pH unit.
Within one full pH unit.
Yeah, and so we're within that range. So if the Fish Commission comes to, we have to fill out a report, we can say, hey, it went from this to this. Okay, and so we're within that range, and I think we're ready to stock some fish.
I think we're ready.
Okay,
We're
just a
cooking.
couple safety things while we're stocking fish.
3 or 4, and we can all go up there, and then you want to take a look.
I can get rid of water.
Somebody else is gonna be up here. You gotta.
No, I got you.
Oh man, you're ruining the truck.
This is a character.
He can hose it off. It'll be okay.
Oh yeah, that's his responsibility.
That's his responsible.
It's team number 2.
Oh, here comes a bunch.
Team number 2.
I'll take that bucket.
We can trade. I can get up there.
Yo,
Dropping down, probably like a year and 2 years, a little bit extra.
so catfish have 2 whiskers on the sides and 2 whiskers on the bottom.
Yes, they have 4 whiskers in total. So, does anyone want to get in the water?
Yeah,
Maybe.
All right, we can all get in the water.
I believe in you.
I just
Care about my camera.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Drop the camera.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially in the morning. So we're gonna go right here.
We should have told the kids water shoes today.
So the way, I've stocked trout before, and it's called something float stock. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna dip them out.
Count, Steven.
2, 3, 4, 5. You want to dip them out, and they're gonna stay around. They might one of them be brushing up against my foot. 6. All right, cool. I like that. All good. 4, so 11 in total. Thank you.
I think we can just count how many are in the bucket right now.
So 5. So 15. So you can just, if you just push it down, 15.
I know. Are you hearing the number?
So the water's pushing them into it. You want to do something?
It's good, tiny
There's one right here.
Yep. Like I said, they're gonna hang out for a little bit. Yeah, definitely watch your step. They're pretty
Yeah,
quick.
that's really good. Yeah, you're good if you stay on the stone. Yes. You get off the stone and steamers.
Yeah.
Take that.
Nice.
It's a fat ghost empty.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah!
Mr. G.
Final boss. I was like, where did the third one go?
Right here might be easiest. You're going to crouch down, and then you're going to put half the bottom part of the bucket in the water. Grab that, and then you're just going to like lift it. You're going to dip half the bucket in, kind of lift down. Yep, you just want to do a couple.
If you go to the left, go to the other way. Go to the right way.
There's a crayfish.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. You're good. You're getting on higher ground.
If you want to release them right there.
Oh, it's smoking.
So Jonah, if you want to release them over here. Oh, you got the galoshes. I like those. I had a pair of those, but there's a giant hole in the front, so they just pull water out. You want to pick that back up? Would you be able to?
Where'd they go?
Another acclimating pretty well.
Yeah, they should be.
You want to come up?
What do you got, Steven?
10.
So we're up to 25 now. Woohoo!
Would you be able to pick us back up? Thank you so much.
And how many were there in total?
I think, did they say 90 something? I feel like.
Just walk up this way. Guys.
Hello. I think that might be Uno. I helped to let these little guys go. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, that's my son. Do we have any more fish? Oh, I was the finale.
I think Grantham has the last bit.
Oh, we have one more? Oh, don't fall, Crystal. Oh, my Lanta. I almost fell. There's a fishy over here. Well, what a cool experience was this. I can say I got to release some catfish. I'm going to head to the Susquehanna. A beautiful day. Oh, very cool. Oh, do we have one more? He's getting a bit big.
Get out. Get out. Yeah.
Enjoy your new home.
85
So cool.
It was when they first got here because they weren't really like
Oh yeah, don't lose your shoes. Make sure you keep a hold of them.
David, let's not get a hernia.
Careful.
Huh?
Careful.
Yeah, I know. Do I be careful with the falling rock or the 6-inch crawl down underneath?
All of the above.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. Yeah. Make sure you guys are keeping count. Did you want to come out with the water? Nope. Okay. Oh, good. Do you want to release something right here? Good.
I was like watching.
Get out.
Okay.
6.
Nice. Oh, that was a big one. That was a good sized one.
There's a minnow right here. You can see the shadow.
Turn the bucket.
David's turn. Got in here. 5?
5.
Aw, I should name them all before they go.
I'm sure they all
Uno,
have
dos,
names. Uno, dos,
tres,
3, 4.
cuatro, cinco.